And now, Decoder Ring Theatre presents the continuing adventures of Canada's greatest superhero, that scourge of the underworld, hunter of those who prey upon the innocent, that marvelous masked mystery man known only as the Red Panda! The Red Panda, mysterious crusader for justice, hides his true identity of August Fenwick, one of the city's wealthiest men, in his never-ending battle against crime and corruption. Only his wife and partner, Kit Baxter Fenwick, who joins him in his quest in the guise of the Flying Squirrel, knows who wears the mask of the Red Panda! This episode, The Secret City.
Hold it, pal. Where do you think you're going?
Take it easy, Constable Hoff.
Oh, sorry, Detective Parker. I still don't recognize you without the uniform.
Don't worry about it too much, Clancy. I'll be back pounding a beat in Cabbagetown if I don't get a break on this kidnapping ring soon.
I heard about that. A dozen society brats just up and vanished, is that it?
And another one just yesterday. No ransom notes, no nothing. The families are screaming at the mayor's screaming at the chief is threatening to bust me down to crossing guard if I don't get results yesterday.
Well, let me take your mind off your troubles with a nice impossible robbery.
Oh, good.
It's through here.
What is this place?
Private showroom for art treasures, Detective. The kind of stuff that guys like you and me can't afford to look at and think about how much we can't afford it.
The city's littered with this kind of thing. Private showrooms, exclusive galleries. How do they expect us to protect them if we don't find out they exist until it's too late?
Easy. They scream at the mayor, the chief screams at you, and miracles happen.
This night gets better and better. What was the haul?
Jewels, Detective. About 80 grand worth.
80 grand? With no police protection?
They had private security. Kowalski's bringing them in now.
Good. I'll want to share a few four-letter words with them.
This is the only door. It was locked, bolted, and barred. There were 3 electric eye beams set up in the hallway in case of intruders, and 1 more on the door itself.
Tidy. How did the thief get past all of that?
They didn't.
What do you mean?
I mean, the door wasn't touched. The curator only noticed he'd been cleaned out when he went to open up for the showing.
So how'd they get in? Much less out. With $80,000 worth of jewels.
My best guess?
If you don't mind.
Look up.
A skylight? But that must be 100 feet up.
Yep. I've been on the roof. There's no sign of a grapple or line having been attached anywhere, but a glass panel was removed.
These pillars aren't completely sheer. If you were awfully good, you might be able to climb down. But how in the world would you get out again?
The gallery owner is in the office. I think he's already called the mayor twice.
This night just gets better and better. And now you know as much as I do. I'm off the case, but I thought it sounded like your kind of thing.
Nice to know the impossible is still officially our racket.
It really is. Nothing says job security quite like specializing.
Hey, don't mix those papers up. That's my case file on the society kidnappings.
Squirrel, would you please explain to Agent 51 that I am something of a detective myself and unlikely to mix his papers up?
Andy?
Yeah?
The boss says for you to shut up.
Nice. Oh, I almost forgot. We managed to narrow down the time of the break-in to a nice little 7-hour span.
Oh, joy.
The roof of the gallery is close to the buildings to the north and to the south. There is also a fire escape down the back. Man who owns a shop across the way says he saw a bunch of punks come out of the alley last night, but never saw them go in. Of course, he's not sure that he would have noticed.
And that didn't strike you as a place to start?
It's not my case. The old man hasn't decided who he's going to stick with this one, but he wants me on the kidnapping ring round the clock. Are you almost finished rooting through those files?
I assume you'll know that I'm done when I put them down.
Did the man in the store get a good look at the kids?
They weren't exactly kids. 17 to 20 years old was his guess. They moved pretty fast, but he got a look at the last one. Hold on, where is it? Right. Male, about 5'9", slight build, sharp features, red hair kind of untidy, was wearing a dark blue jacket.
Definitely a place to start.
What makes you say that?
A lack of faith in the power of ridiculous coincidence. Send out men canvassing the street for other shops that might have been open, people in the neighborhood, anyone who might have seen the gang run down the street at that time.
I told you, I'm off the case.
Oh, I don't think so.
I am. I'm on the kidnapping case until something breaks.
Something just did. Squirrel, do you recall the description the shopkeeper gave?
Male, 17 to 20, 5'9", slight build, sharp features, messy red hair.
Strikingly similar to something I stumbled upon while mixing up Detective Parker's papers.
The kidnappings? Let me see.
Of course. Roger Sterling's description. His father's Raymond Sterling, worth a couple of million by all reports. Roger was the third one to vanish. But what does it mean?
If your shopkeeper recognizes young Roger Sterling's photograph as the youth he saw speeding out of that alleyway...
It means the two worst cases in town are actually the same case, Sandy Parker. And they're both all yours.
Not a bad haul, gang. Not bad at all.
They're shiny and pretty, and there's simply tons of them. What could be better?
Don't get too attached to them. We can't keep them.
What do you mean?
We don't need souvenirs. We need money. The boss will want to sell these.
You're no fun at all. What's the matter, Roger? You don't look very happy.
I'm still not sure that shopkeeper didn't get a good look at me when we came out of the alley.
So what? So he saw you. Why should he remember you?
I still say we should have left the way we came. Over the rooftops with the others. Who would have seen us then?
Anyone who did would have known we were up to no good, Roger. It's safer and simpler to take the streets.
Safer? Simpler? Half the police in the city must be looking for us right now.
The papers think we've been kidnapped, Roger. They aren't looking for us walking down the street.
Well, what if they start? Are you prepared for that? Do you want to get sent back?
No one's going back.
Just because you say so doesn't make it so.
I'm afraid I must concur, young Mr. Sterling. No one is going back.
It's him!
It's the boss!
What do you think, Mr. Monkey? Not a bad night's work, huh?
Yes and no, my boy. Yes and no. I must admit, I am quite pleased with the booty, but our young friend Roger is most correct. You were careless.
But I thought...
And that is the problem.
But, Mad Monkey, we thought it would be all right to come back on foot.
On foot and carrying the jewels, no less. Imagine my surprise when my baboons returned to our new fortress empty-handed. I thought for a moment I had been double-crossed.
Oh, but we would never do that.
One cannot afford to take chances, I'm afraid. I sent 4 of your number and 6 of our simian brethren. You could feel their thoughts in your mind, even far away from me, could you not?
Yes, sir.
They told you how to climb down those walls, imparted their skill and fearlessness to you telepathically, just as we practiced, did they not?
Yes, sir. They did, and it all went perfectly.
Indeed it did, dear girl. Indeed it did. Until you began rewriting the plot. I didn't ask for you to come here. I could have ransomed you back where you came from and made a tidy profit, could I not?
Yes, sir, Mad Monkey.
But you persuaded me to let you remain, to let you help, to show me the city's hidden delights, the plums ripe for picking that only privileged brats like you could know about. But this is not a democracy. My plans are the only plans. My word is the law, and so it must remain.
Don't blame them.
Dear heart, I will blame whomever I choose, whenever I choose. For my word is law, and so it must remain.
It was my idea to take the fire escape. And my idea to bring the jewels back ourselves.
You are a very honest boy. An appalling habit of which you must be broken. You seem to regard it as something of a virtue. You hold your head high and look me in the eye.
I suppose I do.
You suppose you do. Human interactions are not my specialty, young man. Do you know how such a challenge to the authority of the alpha male is dealt with in the baboon world?
What's that?
They deal with it like this.
Stop it! Stop it! You're killing him!
Nothing so dramatic as that, my girl. Hit a man once, and he'll hit you right back. Hit a man twice, and he'll wait for revenge. Hit a man until he cannot remember why you started hitting him in the first place, and he'll cower every time you raise your hand. Remember that, young Mr. Sterling.
Yes, sir.
Now, we're reasonably flush. Once I've fenced these sparklers, but I do find myself rather unexpectedly with a dozen or so spoiled young mouths to feed. We need a new caper. Ideas?
I know an auction house my mother took me to sometimes. It's hidden away, and they always have the most exquisite paintings.
Not just yet. Art is tough to move, and I don't wish to overtax my contacts. Daddy needs some cold, hard cash.
The currency exchange.
I like both of those words. Go on.
Well, my father often deals with such places when he travels. It's a discreet way for a wealthy man to move large amounts of cash without leaving a trail for the tax man. I know a couple of them in town. there isn't nearly as much security as there is secrecy.
Oh, just as we like it, my boy. Just as we like it. Soon their pockets will feel the pinch of the mad monkey.
Kid?
In the crime lab, boss.
You know we've been married for more than a year now.
More like a year and a half, actually.
And still you call me boss when I wear the mask.
I call you boss when I am in a certain mood. The mask happens to put me in that certain mood.
I wear the mask quite a lot.
I know. It's hard to be me.
Kit Baxter, behave yourself.
See? You didn't say Baxter Fenwick. I feel like a quick game of the naughty sidekick.
Aren't we in the middle of a case?
Or no fun at all.
Kit, we'd never leave the lair otherwise.
Remind me, why would that be a bad thing exactly?
I struggle to recall just now. I am fairly certain there must have been a reason at one point.
Did you find anything at the crime scene?
Not much. Several small smudge marks along the pillars that our thieves must have used to climb down. Looks like they might have had some sort of rubber-soled shoes, and they certainly wore gloves.
Which tells us a lot and not much.
Tells us a few things. Our friends in the police department tend not to consider certain scenarios that they still hold to be impossible in spite of evidence to the contrary.
Like a burglar who could fly or levitate down from the skylight?
In a nutshell. In this case, though, the best guess of Toronto's finest seems to have been the correct one.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
As you say. How are things here?
Well, I can see why the families of our missing persons didn't turn their kiddies' diaries over to John Law. Aside from being pretty badly written, they're about as steamy as you might suspect.
Teenagers.
And then some.
It's not unnatural, I suppose, for their parents to keep such musings from prying eyes.
Fortunately, a little second-story work can get you all sorts of things that the word please can't.
Baxter's Law?
Baxter's Law. If they'd turned them over to the cops, poor Andy Parker might have actually got somewhere.
You discovered something?
Discovered might be kind of a strong word for it. There's not much in any of these diaries that you wouldn't think of a teenager writing. Lots of trivia dressed up as drama, the occasional bit of railing against authority. These kids have it pretty good, though, so there's not much open rebellion.
I ran away with the circus and slummed around the Orient learning ancient secrets for crime fighting.
Yes, but you are the exception, and shut up.
Ah, yes.
But about 4 weeks ago, the tone started to change. You don't notice it at first, but they all start writing about freedom, about running free, part of a pack or a tribe.
A tribe? Do they speak of a criminal group?
I don't think so. I'm not even sure that they all know each other. It seemed to start with dreams they didn't understand. Dreams about running over rooftops or treetops. Varied a little, but once it started, it kept building. Red Panda, I don't think these kids were taken. That's why the kidnappers left no clues. There never were any. I think they up and left. Usually in the middle of the night, taking nothing with them, and almost always from a second or third story window with no obvious escape route.
It certainly sounds like they were being influenced somehow. But where did they go?
Sorry, Pappy. No clues.
Well, we had better find some, and quickly. Look at this.
Chronicle Special Edition. Oh, boy, this can't be good.
It isn't. There was another baffling burglary at a currency exchange, one known only to a very exclusive clientele. Someone got in and out again with almost $200,000 in untraceable bills.
Holy cats! Police are baffled at this time. They aren't the only ones.
We have something to work with now, Kit. And if our young friends have turned criminal, they will shortly learn a hard lesson in justice from the Red Panda.
You are listening to the Red Panda Adventures from Decoder Ring Theater, your address for adventure, mystery, and comedy.
See anything?
Nada. I think we're clear. Come on.
Doesn't look like anyone's been in here for years.
I'm betting we'll find what we're looking for one floor down. The old factory floor would be the most spacious digs.
There's a service ladder over there. Come on.
Looks pretty dark down there, and too quiet to be the headquarters for a gang of teenagers. But you know how I hate surprises.
I've got my mask lenses set for the infrared spectrum. If there were any radiant body heat down there, I would see it.
There's some radiant body heat right over here.
We're in an abandoned factory. Does this seem like the time or the place?
It's not Paris in the springtime.
The last time we were in Paris in the spring, I was shot with a poison dart and you were chased by a team of mastiffs.
Ah, young love. Whew! It smells like a hamster cage full of old socks.
There is something of a funk about the place.
At least we know somebody's been here.
It was too good a bet to lose. This old works is less than a mile from one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city.
Where all of our kidnap victims lived.
It's all but forgotten now, making it a perfect headquarters for a criminal gang. And since there seems to have been some level of subconscious mental influence exerted over our missing persons, proximity was almost certainly a factor.
If you say so. All I know is someone was here, they're not here now, and they didn't smell any too good.
It's familiar, isn't it?
The smell? Something between a boxing gym and a slaughterhouse. Let's try and find a clue to where they went so we can get some air.
Agreed.
The lights aren't working.
I think the power box is over here. Let me see if I can't... Hello? What's this?
What's what?
Something wired into the main power line. Something new.
I've never seen anything like it. And you know what that usually means.
What?
That we should take 10 steps back and wing it with a boomerang.
Ah, the scientific method.
Get your grapple gun ready for a dramatic exit. What's that?
I think you've tripped a recording.
I know that line.
Hello, old friend. It is you, isn't it?
And now I've placed the smell.
Of course it's you. Who else would it be?
Baboons, and plenty of them.
If you found this place, you're too close for comfort.
A mad monkey.
We can't have that, now can we?
Chronicle, Evening Edition. Art treasure loot at exclusive auction house. Police baffle as crime spree continues. Get the Chronicle.
Extra, extra! Mysterious explosion destroys abandoned factory. 2 bodies found. Extra, extra!
Get the Chronicle here. Kidnapping ring still at large. Families await ransom demands. Only in the Chronicle.
Oh boy! What a haul! This is sure to make the boss happy.
Be careful. He's in a strange mood.
Come on, Roger. He's got to be pleased.
I'm not sure. Do you find it hard to hear the baboons?
What are you talking about? The baboons are everywhere.
I mean, in your mind. I can hardly hear them now.
I know what you mean. I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
You guys worry about nothing. Look what we've been able to accomplish. Last week, we were all locked in a gilded cage at our parents' beck and call. Look at us now. Working together, we've been looting the city blind.
Not the city, Junior. Not the place where people live and breathe. The place where they work like dogs to keep the first 2 things happening, and where they live in fear that something might take all of that away.
Mr. Monkey...
Easy. I told you, he's in a strange mood.
No, young Master Sterling. He is not in a strange mood. He is drunk. No well-heeled euphemisms, please. Because friends should speak the truth to one another. And we are all friends, are we not?
Yeah, of course we are.
You young whelps have never known the power and the glory of having the city lie terrified at your feet. There really is nothing quite equal to it.
But, boss, just look at all the loot we...
Don't talk back to me!
You shouldn't do that, sir. I was only trying to help.
I should have killed you when I had the chance. And believe me, I haven't ruled it out.
Yes, sir.
We have not touched the city. When a million voices whisper your name in fear, fear of death, fear of pain, fear of losing whatever scraps are most precious to them, then you know the giddy thrill of true villainy. All we have done is sack your secret city.
Secret City?
Yes, the world of privilege. The domain of a few hundred leeches the city despises for their wealth. The world you brats chafe at the thought of returning to. Private banks, exclusive galleries. Places where your money wouldn't have to touch the rough nickels of the great unwashed. Places even the police don't know about. You have handed them to me on a silver platter.
We only wanted to help.
Help. Yes. You have helped. You've helped me to see you for the parasites you are.
But Mad Monkey, we only wanted to be part of your tribe. We only wanted to be free.
What part of being slapped by a supervillain represents freedom, exactly? Or receiving telepathic commands from monkeys? Or looting your mummy and daddy's secret city to please someone you keep calling boss? There, dear. Keep it down or I'll have a mandrill eat your intestines. I don't have a tribe. I have a small army of baboon henchmen. Their minds are linked to mine.
And so are ours.
Yes, in a fashion. My powers seem to be changing. Growing in ways I don't really understand. My old hideout was right under the noses of your well-heeled homes. There must have been some telepathic spill that crept into your tiny adolescent brains and sent you crawling out your windows to find me. Soon I was besieged by wealthy brats, plump and primed for ransom.
Ransom? You wouldn't. You said you wouldn't.
I did, didn't I? That was because you made yourselves useful. I have a delirious pile of swag. But I am tired of you. More tired than I can possibly say. And please remember that this comes from a fella that lives amongst baboons. Collectively, you don't smell all that good.
Is that why you're drinking?
No.
Are you celebrating?
No!
Then why?
Because I have lost something that will never come again, Junior. I have destroyed that which all villains crave. My one true nemesis.
The Red Panda? He was killed in the blast?
There were 2 bodies. That's all the papers say. There couldn't have been much left. He was the only one clever enough to have found the old hideout, and the only one that could have linked it to me.
Then we got away with it.
So it would seem. But there is no joy left in it for me. No thrill of the chase when there's no one who could catch you. So I'm shutting down the operation.
You're sending us back?
No.
You're ransoming us.
No! You see, I can't let you leave. It isn't easy to find a decent hideout. It needs a certain amount of space, access nearby to tree cover, and now apparently it has to be far enough away from habitation that I won't attract teenage brats looking for some sort of monkey commune. No. I can't let you tell anyone where this place is.
So you're going to kill us?
Yes. Or to be more precise, you are going to kill each other. My baboons are going to fill your minds with rage, and you will tear each other apart in a blood sport to end all blood sports. And I will watch and giggle. You may begin. What is it? What's wrong?
I can't hear the baboons.
I can't hear them at all.
What are you talking about? They're all around us. They're patrolling the grounds. They're
Where?
They're all unconscious. Why would they all be...
Hold it right there, Mad Monkey.
Look! Up there!
It's you! You're alive!
You don't have to sound so happy about it.
But the bodies... The paper said there were 2 bodies, a man and a woman.
A little story we planted.
We thought you'd be easier to find if you thought no one was looking for you.
And we were right.
Oh, joy of joys!
This isn't quite the response I was hoping for.
What have you done with my army?
Meet my friend, the tranquilizer gun. We've been playing target practice for the last half hour.
And now it's your turn.
I'm so happy I could weep. I get to kill you again! Get on down here and let me beat you about the head and neck with this crowbar.
Squirrel,
Pumpkin,
crowd control.
try not to kill him.
Will do.
Just you and I, dancing our tango of mutual destruction until the end of the world.
And this pleases you?
More than you can possibly imagine. Try this on. Stand still, will you?
Mad Monkey, if we ever do settle things once and for all,
Yes?
try to be less completely drunk.
I make no promises.
Well, that worked out all right. The city's finest families have their children back in one piece. The papers say Andy Parker is a hero and a genius at the art of detection. And the loot from the robberies has been recovered down to the last nickel.
Yes.
You don't seem that pleased.
Don't mistake me, Kit. I enjoy saving Detective Parker's badge as much as the next fellow.
But
It's the monkey. He's not in it for the money anymore. And now he truly knows it. It's all about the game. And the game is only fun if I'm playing against him.
And that's a flavor of crazy that is a little harder to prepare for.
In a nutshell. And there's worse. If he's only playing his game to defeat me, how many more people will suffer needlessly that wouldn't if we weren't around to inspire him?
And that's crazy talk. How many people would suffer if we weren't around?
I know, but it's a conversation we'll have to have at some point. Besides, we're not as young as we used to be.
Did you just call me old?
I did no such thing. But can you picture us doing this in 20 years?
You want to retire in a little vine-covered crime lair somewhere?
Maybe someday. I'd quite like to live to have the choice, if you don't object.
As long as you still wear the mask once in a while, I'm game for anything.
Kit Baxter Fenwick.
Oh, shut up and kiss me.
And so concludes another adventure of the Red Panda! This recording and the story, characters, and situations contained therein are the exclusive property of their creator and copyright holder, Greg Taylor, and are produced and distributed by Decoder Ring Theater through arrangement with him. These recordings may not be rebroadcast or redistributed by any means for any reason without express permission. Until next time, when Decoder Ring Theater brings you the further thrilling adventures of Canada's greatest superhero, this is Stephen Burley reminding you DecoderRingTheater.com is your address to adventure!
The Red Panda Adventures, episode 55, The Secret City, was written and directed by Greg Taylor, with original music by Andrea Lyons, and featured the vocal talents of Kevin Robinson, Brian Vaughn, Shannon Arnold, Stephen Burley, Olivia Vaughn, Christopher Mott, Clarissa Deneuderlanden, and Greg Taylor. Until next time, for all of us here, good night.